And now, without further ado, let me present to you our future president, Dave Foster.
Kind of a scary thought, huh? Actually, Bob Olensale and I completed President-elect training last week, and I can tell you that after having attended that, in addition to the Leadership Institute training that many of us have been participating in the last couple of weeks, it's really a great way to get your battery charged if it isn't going already. So the future looks very, very bright. There's a couple of new major programs that we're going to introduce in the coming year beginning July 1st. One is a membership drive program called Ignite, and then the other one is a Future Vision program that we're actually going to be working on in the upcoming year, but won't actually officially begin until a year from July. But I can give you a little hint in that one of the major features of that new program, Future Vision, is that we're going to simplify the process and move a little bit of the emphasis on our investments being on the local level as far as getting funding to do projects in that. So it's very, very exciting. So for those of you that are visitors today, just kind of a very, very brief overview. I know we're running behind on time already, of the projects that we currently have that we have active. Death by Chocolate, you've heard a lot about recently. The CSI Fitness Trail Maintenance, Ice Cream Fun Day coming up in July, our dictionary distribution, our Salvation Army bell ringing that we do around the holidays, our annual picnic, and our Christmas party, and also our holiday bowling that we do in the Christmas season. And we're looking to add more projects, both large and small, and we're working on those as a board right now, and we'll keep everybody posted as to how we're doing with those. So with that, Kevin, thank you.
It's an extraordinary organization of men and women who've made an investment in our community.
It's professions and people coming together, feeling friendship, and out of that, going out into the world doing good things.
There's just a feeling of being in a room with a lot of friends.
It's about how people communicate, people helping each other, how people grow together, and how will people serve together.
Rotary for me served as a way not only to get involved with other people outside my business and my family, but also serves as a way to be able to start to give back to the community.
A kind word, just a kind gesture, just like 10 minutes of your time, really change somebody's life.
Rotary and community, it's like peanut butter and jelly. You know, they just go together real nicely.
It gives you joy. It gives you satisfaction. Most of the good things you do comes back to you severalfold.
Rotary is able to reach the younger members and really continue to tell the story. And I think that's how we'll stay vibrant and valid for the next 20, 50, 100 years.
So kind of along the same theme, we've asked 4 of our members to get up and speak just briefly here this afternoon. I'd like to begin with Dick Boyd. Dick, is Dick, you still here? No, he had to go. He told me he had a closing to go to. And
Dick Irwin.
I'm sorry. Dick Irwin.
Yeah.
Dick Irwin, come on up. Thank you, Dick. Let me get this out of here. That's why Dick Boyd had such a blank look on his face.
Thank you, yeah. I'll try to do as well as Dick Boyd would have done. Anyway, good afternoon, fellow Rotarians and guests. That's good. Thank you. I can beat that. Well, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Dick Irwin. And I joined Rotary in 1964, in March of 1964. That's almost 50 years ago. It's a long time. And at that time, we met at the American Legion Hall downtown. And if you believe it or not, we all wore suits and ties. We've come a long ways, haven't we? And we're kind of a meet and eat club at that time, I would say. But anyway, we've come a long way since then. I became president in 1971 and 1972. I'm a Paul Harris Fellow, and I don't know what year I did that, but I see now I've got to do better. I was president after Dan Obenchain and just before John Rochalt. I think one of the most memorable things in my life is Rotary's been a large part of my life, but it's also been a life-saving adventure for me because one day I was sitting right over there and I swallowed an olive and I was choking on it and I was gasping for air and I couldn't scream and I couldn't yell, and Chappie Chapman was sitting right over here, and I don't know what attracted his attention, but he came rushing across the dance floor and grabbed me and did the Heimlich on me, and the olive shot out of my mouth. So I have a debt of gratitude to you, Chappie. Do you remember that? Chappie joined the club in 1965, and we have another member of the club, Ed Coster, is over a 50-year member. He was a member over at Gooding for many years. So I think that's kind of states if people can belong to a club that long, there's got to be something pretty good about it. So it's kind of a testimonial to our club, and we got a lot of these older members in here, but I got to tell you younger people, there's no substitute for experience, Sonny. One of the best things that ever happened to our club after we did the fitness trail and we did the Canyon Crest, or I don't mean Canyon Crest, the Centennial Park in memory of Roy Raymond, is the best thing we did in my mind, and that happened to this club, is when we allowed women to become members of our club. Kudos to all you gals, because I think things really started to happen after women came into the club. We had a lot of good projects, but we've got a lot more good projects now, and things are really getting done. And kudos to Jill again for her chocolate, Death by Chocolate, because that brings a tremendous amount of money into this club, and it avails us to be able to do a lot of projects that we would never do otherwise to fulfill our obligations to the community. We just do a good job. So thank you, gals, very much for being members. One of the things that I'd like to see improved in the club, and I've found this out more than ever today, is I think we need to have some arrangement where we would sit in different places each week, because we sit at this table over here and it's the same 6 guys every day. Sit over here, it's the same 3 or 4 people every Wednesday. And you don't get to know anybody. Now today I met a gal by the name of April Swisher. She joined the club 2002. I met her today. Now that's pretty bad. And I think something needs to be done about our seating arrangement. So I don't know who I'm going to put in charge of that. Maybe April. How about that?
Dick Boyd.
Or Dick Boyd. Yeah. Good job. Anyway, well, like I say, Rotary's been a large part of my life, and it's a chance to meet people, professionals. Everyone in this room is a professional, and where else can you get a chance to meet 120 or more professionals and get on first name basis with those kinds of people? You can help them and they can help you, and it's very, very important in our lives. So I thank you for your attention. I just hope that our guests today will consider becoming a member of our Twin Falls Rotary Club. Thank you.
Let's see if I can get this right. Dan Obenchain, come on up.
Good afternoon, everybody. I, as well as others that are here today, and have been in Rotary for a considerable length of time, but been asked by Dave Foster to talk a few minutes about the things in Rotary that we enjoy the most. For those of you who have become Rotarians recently, my name is Dan Obenchain, and that's him up there. And I joined Rotary on June 17th, 1964. So on June 17th, 2012, I will have been a Rotarian for 48 years. I was president of the club in 1970-71 year. I think one of my favorite activities, fun activities, is we used to have a pancake breakfast, which I thoroughly enjoyed. It used to be given down at the Twin Falls Park in Idaho Power Generating Station. It usually we were always attended by our families and our friends, and everyone seemed to enjoy, and the get-together it kind of gave us a relaxed atmosphere to get better acquainted with each other's family in particular. It provided our members and their families with the opportunity to meet in a less rigid basis. Much of the annual park, we always had the pancake breakfast down at the park, and there was usually about 12 people that would volunteer to do the cooking. We always made certain that we were exactly in the same place down at the park. We would line our grills up next to this little tin shed, and it was run by the Idaho Power, as I have stated. But inside the little shed, most people didn't know this, but there was a bottle of bourbon. And that helped us through. We cooks always took a little break during the day, and every time we'd go in and just kind of have a little visit in that shed. One year we had a fella a very quiet and little fella, and during the breakfast hours, we'll call him Hubert. But during the breakfast hours, Hubert made more than his allotted trips to that shed. And soon he didn't know whether he was cooking eggs or tamales. Soon his wife appeared and immediately noticed his condition. She grabbed him by the ear and marched him out to the family car, and Hubert never showed again as a cook. Dave's suggestion that what do we like about Rotary? I think the thing that we like, and this is kind of repetitious to what Dick said, is the many good civic projects we do. There's the River Park, the financial help we have given to the Arts Center, the help we are giving the walking the path along the canyon, and the donations that generated by the Death by Chocolate, thanks to Jill. Another item was how could we improve Rotary? I think that we could improve Rotary tremendously if we had stricter enforcement of attendance. It used to be that it was absolutely required. However, I realize, and we all realize, that things have changed in the many years since then. Next, Dave asked, what is your passion regarding Rotary? Hell, I'm getting so damn old I can't remember what passion means. And with that, I thank you.
Maybe we should stop right there. Kyle Tarbitt, come on up. Kyle's not one of our newest members, but he is a newer member, and he's been active in participating in the Leadership Institute and being an active Rotarian. So Kyle.
Thank you. Yeah, so I'm not a brand new Rotarian. I've been a member for right about 1 year. I think either end of February of 2011 or beginning of March was when I joined Rotary. Last year when Dave asked me to speak, he gave us this little handout here, kind of a guideline, and you know, I took a look at that, and it says speaker background information. I didn't realize that was kind of the outline we were supposed to follow. So, you know, it says a few things in there, and one of those was, what's your favorite Rotary Club story? You know, I haven't been a member of Rotary for too long, so being a little bit of a smart aleck, I wrote in there, any if told by Danny Morona. I didn't realize this is what I was supposed to be talking about today. So I did want to share one experience I had about Rotary. It was about 3 weeks ago. One of my wife's friends was over at our home, and she invited us over to their house for dinner. And it happened to be on the same Saturday that we had this Rocky Mountain Leadership Institute that I've been participating in. And so I told her, you know, we can't come because I have this Rotary thing. And she's like, oh, Rotary. And obviously she didn't know too much about Rotary, so she asked me, you know, do you have to, isn't that like the club, you got to be related to somebody to get in? And I was like, no, you don't have to be related, although I am. I have my uncle Jeff Rolig, who's been a member of Rotary. And so she asked again, she's like, well, doesn't it, don't you have to donate like thousands of dollars a year to be in Rotary? And I said, no, we have dues that we pay, and those go to scholarship funds and projects that we do, and to pay the administrative dues and training costs for our members. But you don't have to have a lot of money. She asked, isn't Rotary that club just a bunch of old guys get together and eat lunch? And I said, no, absolutely not. Rotary is full of spry and energetic men and women. We get together and do service projects. I said, you must be thinking of Kiwanis. So, you know, then she asked me how I was recruited into Rotary, and I said, oh, I just have these two friends, Zach and Dustin, who you guys know. They're were ambassadors for the chamber at that time, and I was working at the chamber, and they just invited me to come along. So came to Rotary a few times and really enjoyed it. Kind of one thing that really caught my eye was the vision of Rotary, how we can serve at a local level. We do projects like putting together Centennial Park. We do the trails over at CSI. But at the same time, we have a very wide vision, a worldwide vision. Just this last year, our club helped to provide irrigation water for some folks in Peru so that they could farm and make a better living for themselves. We've also been actively engaged since the early 80s, I think they said, in the Polio Plus program, helping to eradicate Polio Plus. So, you know, if you're thinking of joining Rotary, you know, you get some great networking, meet some great people, make some new friends. You know, a business deal or two might get done. But really what you will get to do is to help take ownership of your community, get active in your community, and help improve the lives of people here, like the kids that we give dictionaries to, or the people who enjoy the park or the fitness trails. And at the same time, improve lives of people who are throughout the world, whether it's getting their kids immunized for polio, or maybe they are recipients of one of these projects where we provide clean drinking water, or training for people so that they can improve their education for themselves. You know, so I really feel like that's a great vision, and that's really what's got me and kept me interested in Rotary. Of course, all of you, I've enjoyed getting to know and look forward to meeting the rest of you who I haven't known. Hopefully it won't take 10 years, maybe a little sooner. But just want to thank everyone for having me in your club. And if you are here thinking of joining Rotary, please do. Give it a shot, and you'll really enjoy the fellowship here and the service that you'll be able to give. Thank you.
Another new member, Jennifer Moss.
I'm not as tall as all of you. Okay, so I'm Jennifer Moss. I've been in Rotary since probably last fall. I've been only under one leadership, would be Wiley Dobbs, and that we are part of the most radical, stupendous service club in all the galaxy.
That's exactly.
I was going with it. All right, my favorite Rotary story actually goes back to 1992. Obviously, I wasn't a member. I was in the first grade. But my father, Kevin Moss, was. He was able to take a trip, thanks to Rotary International, to Bavaria in Germany for 2 months. And as a lot of you know, we're in the flower business at Moss Greenhouses. So it turns out the Germans actually do a pretty good job doing the same thing across the ocean. So he was able to tour and explore several other greenhouses and nursery operations in Bavaria to see what's being done around the world. And he was able to take that and bring it back to the next stage and transition in the company. And he took it over with my mother and him. They took over the company in '96. We're able to double the company in size. Coincidentally, his trip fell right on Oktoberfest. So he really enjoyed himself in Germany. But he was able to take that knowledge from the trip and apply it. And my mother was able to join him towards the end of the trip. So from a very young age, I saw the benefit what Rotary can do for just an individual. The neatest part for me as a first grader is he brought back all the pictures, and he had flags from all their Rotary clubs, and he had the big mugs from Oktoberfest, and I'm not just talking one. There was several. So, and there's also photos that you can still go through, and they actually look really similar to a lot of the stuff that we're actually doing in the greenhouse industry now. On the flip side of that, my favorite Rotary moments, on a serious note, kind of your warm fuzzies, it's really cool to see a club that can raise money for something, and then couple months later, we see that student athlete who needed that wheelchair and is able to actually join us at lunch. And to see pictures of her competing in her sport, and that's not something you find every day. On the fun side, though, I remember we were standing at the checkout, or the ticket spot at Death by Chocolate, and I asked a fellow Rotarian, I said, do I need to stop that lady? And she's got, plates stocked with chocolate. And she starts laughing at me and she says, be my guest. And I found out it's a death wish to get in between a woman and her chocolate. Being possibly the youngest Rotarian in this club at 27 years old, I have, in my first couple of months here, actually got to witness several 90th plus birthdays. And the coolest part of that is the people whose birthdays it was were actually sitting in the room still having lunch with you. And you don't find that anywhere else. This is a group of people that really cares about things. It's a very important part of the people's lives in this club. And from raising money with polio research to helping all the local charities through the money we raise through events like Death by Chocolate, to even the little third graders who get really excited about dictionaries. So it's cool that we are able to do all of those kind of service-oriented things. I know we're kind of running short on time, but we do need some new blood to Rotary, because I don't see a lot of people my age in this room. And I think that they're missing the buck when it comes to Rotary. We're not able to connect to them and show them what Rotary is really all about. How is it going to benefit them? And we are fighting against technology age, and they're more interested in a computer sometimes than what they can do in the community. So if we could step out as far as improving Rotary to show a person my age in the business community how this could benefit them locally and in their business. Maybe we could get more people through those turf club doors with this wonderful lunch that we serve every day. And I also think there's an incredible value in crossing the multiple generations that are in this room. And I think you have a great idea with switching up all the seating. Sometimes I'm afraid to sit down because I'm afraid I'm in somebody's seat. So if we can start to bridge those gaps, and I'm fortunate that I am in a family that a lot of people know around here, and I come in here and I feel comfortable, and a lot of people are familiar to me. But I think our next challenge is, how do we make somebody who doesn't have those same community connections and maybe didn't grow up here but is in part of the business community, and connect to them and say, hey, you're welcome here and it's comfortable for them. So we'll get them through these doors. As far as passion, because I'm young and I've got that just coming out of my ears still, my passion lies in Rotary with the things we do with the community. I'm part of something much bigger than myself by coming to Rotary. I'm like a little speck in this huge painting, and I can't even begin to wrap my head around everything that Rotary does still, because I am so brand new. But it's really cool to be part of a group that cares so much about giving back to this community, and I can't replace that with anything else in the community. And we're probably a lot cooler than the Kiwanis anyways, so. All right, thank you.
How about another round of applause for our 4 speakers today? We're going to wrap this up in about 5 minutes, so if we could go ahead with the next video.
What is Rotary? We're a network of people like you. In fact, we're the original social network. More than 1 million of us live just about everywhere you can think of. And we mean everywhere. We get together to exchange ideas, grow our businesses, and make new friends. We volunteer to help our own communities or someone else's. We're right around the corner. Come join us. The name is Rotary. Rotary International. You're welcome.
Thank you, Dave, and Rotary members that spoke today. That was outstanding. Want to again thank the folks who came to visit with us today. It was a privilege having you join us, and as was mentioned, you're highly thought of, and we'd like to have you join our club perhaps, if it will work for you. We have